Warning, the player selections you're about to see may flop miserably. FPL TV cannot be held responsible for any of your own transfer shockers. Please, FPL responsibly.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the Point Predictor, the series where I choose 5 players that I think will avoid blanks in the upcoming FPL Gameweek. Within these predictions, I can only choose one player per club, and I must follow the categories shown on screen. Before I make my predictions for Game Week 2, let's check back to last week's picks and see how they performed. So, despite a poor showing from my personal team in Game Week 1, it was actually a very decent start for the Point Predictor, with 4 out of 5 picks returning points. Kyle Walker returned an assist on top of his clean sheet, Lucas Moura bagged an assist as well, and the reliable Mo Salah brought home double figures against Norwich with an assist and goal to his name. Arsenal's Aubameyang also got himself on the scoresheet, therefore it was just Joshua King that let me down, blanking at home to Sheffield United and costing me the Point Predictor full house. So let's move on to Game Week 2's predictions now, and let's hope I haven't peaked too soon with my choices. If you enjoy the Point Predictor series, please support the channel by dropping a like on the video and most importantly getting subscribed. You can also hit the notification bell so you never miss an FPL TV upload. My defensive option this game week goes to Everton's Luca Digne. The Frenchman has proved to be a very popular pick to begin the season, and with him being in 25% of FPL squads, he's currently the 6th most owned defender. And rightfully so, his underlying attacking stats were nothing short of remarkable last season, creating the most chances of any defender in the league. He's a player I strongly considered for my Game Week 1 squad, but with the losses of Idrissa Gueye and Kurt Zouma, I wasn't too convinced on Everton's defensive exploits, and that's what slightly put me off to begin the season. However, Everton went on to keep a clean sheet at the very first time of asking away to Palace, and now boast a home fixture against Watford, who failed to score in their opening game. What really impressed me with Digne in Game Week 1 was his average position over the 90 minutes, because he ended the game as the second furthest forward Everton player behind only Sigurdsson. My budget midfield option this week, below the value of 8 million, goes to Ryan Fraser. Similar to last week, I'm once again putting faith in another Bournemouth player, something I've also done in my personal team which hasn't quite gone to plan so far. However, it has only been one game week, and let's not forget what a fantastic FPL option Ryan Fraser was last season. With 14 assists, the midfielder ended last year as the league's 3rd highest creator, behind only FPL royalty Eden Hazard and Raheem Sterling. He also created 28 big chances for his teammates, which was by far the highest of any player in the league and 10 more than Hazard in second. This game week he faces an away trip to Aston Villa, and interestingly, 9 of the 14 assists that he provided last season did come away from home. Another interesting stat is that in Game Week 1, Villa conceded a whopping 22 crosses from the left side last weekend, so with Fraser playing on the left of a front 3, he could get some joy in this one. My any priced midfield option this week goes to Mo Salah. There's been lots of concern over Salah this week, and this was due to him playing 120 minutes in the Super Cup on Wednesday evening. I'll admit this is certainly not ideal, but as it's so early into the season, I still think he'll be fine to feature on Saturday. Of course, that's just my prediction, so be sure to make your own judgment on that one. His teammate Sadio Mane can also be a great option this week, and I very nearly chose him. After all, he got subbed earlier than Mo and bagged himself 2 goals in that game. But the reason I always lean a bit more towards Salah is the fact that he's on penalties as well as taking some corners, and therefore from a fantasy perspective there's just more ways for him to pick up points. As we're only into Game Week 2, it is difficult to anticipate just how good a team will be defensively, but with Southampton shipping 3 goals to Burnley on the opening weekend, well, it doesn't exactly look great. And Mo Salah has a particularly good record against the Saints, scoring 5 and assisting 1 in the 4 games he's played them in so far. Interestingly, Sadio Mane is yet to score against his previous club, so could that change this weekend? My budget forward option this week, below the value of 8 million, goes to Norwich's Teemu Pukki. He's a player who's jumped straight onto the watch list following an impressive performance in Game Week 1. Having bagged 29 goals and 10 assists in the Championship last season, he was always going to be a player to keep watch of closely. But with Norwich's poor run of opening fixtures to begin the season, I think lots of us thought we wouldn't be considering him until quite a few game weeks in. This assumption was shut down pretty quickly, with the Finn scoring a very well taken goal away to Liverpool. With Norwich's philosophy of attacking anyone regardless of the opponent, perhaps fixtures don't matter for the likes of Pukki, because the Canaries won't be looking to sit back and park the bus against anyone. And in FPL, it doesn't matter if he's on the losing side as long as he's getting attacking returns. Norwich face Newcastle at home in Game Week 2, a decent looking fixture, and I'm sure they'll be looking to get straight onto the front foot. My any priced forward this game week sees me stick with last week's choice, Aubameyang. Last year's joint Golden Boot winner made a positive start to this campaign, scoring the winning goal in Arsenal's hard-fought 1-0 away victory against Newcastle. Having looked at the fixtures for this week, Arsenal at home to Burnley is a very tough one to ignore, especially when hearing some of the head-to-head stats I'm about to put forward. Arsenal have faced Burnley 10 times in the Premier League, winning 9 and drawing 1, and at the Emirates they've won 5 out of 5. Burnley are also a team they love to score goals against, because in those 5 games at home they've put 16 goals past the Clarets. It's also worth noting that in all 10 Premier League meetings between these clubs, the Gunners have never failed to score against them. Aubameyang's personal history against Burnley is equally impressive, because as it turns out, they're his favourite Premier League team to play. The Gabonese striker has scored 6 goals in just 3 games against them, which is the most he's got against any team currently in the top flight. So that wraps up my point predictor picks for Game Week 2, and fingers crossed they can perform as well as last week's choices. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode, and if so, be sure to drop a like on the video and get subscribed to FPL TV. Good luck to all of you in Game Week 2, FPL responsibly, and I'll catch you all very soon.